Greetings everyone, my name is Errol Coder, and this is Planetary Television.
Welcome back to another edition of This Week in Space for January 7th through January 14th. I've been bringing you the most recent weather report from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's Mars Color Imager. Also, Kepler has done it. It's identified its smallest rocky planet, the 9th confirmed planet outside of our solar system. Also, what has happened to the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's high-rise or high-resolution imager HiClips? These clips have been paired with gorgeous views of Mars with music. I'll be investigating this and finding out and bringing the information to you as I find out. Also, is Spirit still listening? Have we identified or received any type of signal from Spirit, and has it survived the harshness of the Mars winter as it enters into the Mars spring? Weather on Mars continued in its usual fashion for southern spring and northern autumn this past week. Dust storms were observed across the northern mid-latitudes, especially in Arcadia, Utopia, and Acidalia, which left much more lofted dust in the north. Several local dust storms also occurred along the seasonal south polar cap edge, especially raising dust in Noaches and Chimera throughout the week. Meanwhile, water ice clouds formed over the Tarsus volcanoes and across the northern mid-latitudes. The Mir A rover Spirit and the Mir B rover Opportunity both experienced light water ice cloud cover throughout the week. NASA's KEPLER mission confirmed the discovery of its first rocky planet, named KEPLER-10b. Measuring 1.4 times the size of Earth, it is the smallest planet ever discovered outside our solar system. The discovery of this so-called exoplanet is based on more than 8 months of data collected by the spacecraft from May 2009 to early January 2010. All of Kepler's best capabilities have converged to yield the first solid evidence of a rocky planet orbiting a star other than our Sun, said Natalie Bahala, Kepler's deputy science team lead at NASA's Ames Research Center in Moffett, California, and primary author of a paper on the discovery accepted by the Astrophysical Journal. The Kepler team made a commitment in 2010 about finding the telltale signature of small planets in the data, and it's beginning to pay off. Kepler's ultra-precise photometer measures the tiny decrease in a star's brightness that occurs when a planet crosses in front of it. The size of the planet can be derived from these periodic dips in brightness. The distance between the planet and the star is calculated by measuring the time between successive dips as the planet orbits a star. Kepler is the first NASA mission capable of finding Earth-sized planets in or near the habitable zone, the region in the planetary system where liquid water can exist on the planet's surface. However, since its orbit once every 0.85 days, Kepler-10b is more than 20 times closer to its stars than Mercury is to our Sun, and not in the habitable zone. Kepler-10 was the first star identified that could potentially harbor a small transiting planet, placing it on the top of the list for ground-based observations with the W.M. Keck Observatory 10-meter telescope in Hawaii. Scientists awaiting for a signal to confirm Kepler-10b as a planet were not disappointed. Keck was able to measure tiny changes in the star's spectrum, called Doppler shifts, caused by the telltale tug exerted by the orbiting planet on the star.
Hi, my name is John Worth, and this is your Building Curiosity Update. I am the MSL ATLO electrical lead, which means I'm the head Sparky. Sparky means we do all the electrical integration, we verify that the connectors are mating correctly, we do all that kind of stuff. We're asked quite often why we have to hook up our wire to this ground lug. And what this does is this bleeds off electrical charge on our body to the earth. The rover has sensitive electronics in it, so if we got close with a charge, it might damage it. This just ensures that we're down to a zero charge when we work on the rover. So what we're doing today is we're getting ready for system test. We load some flight software, which is the brain, software in your brain, trying to tell this thing that, hey, I'm going to simulate going through launch, cruise, EDL, and surface operations. So what the guys are doing now is they're electrically connecting up each of the vehicles together so it thinks it's mechanically hooked together, which tells the rover or makes the rover think that it's going to go through all its mission phases to ensure the flight software and the electronics will actually work when we get to Mars. We're 1 year away from launch, and so right now is a real busy time for us because we're trying to prepare the hardware to get going to Florida next year. So right now everybody can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel because we're getting close to launch. So everybody's excited about making things happen right now. This has been your Building Curiosity Update, and I'm John Worth.
We were hunters and foragers. The frontier was everywhere. We were bounded only by the earth and the ocean and the sky. The open road still softly calls. Our little terraqueous globe is the madhouse of those 100,000 millions of worlds. We who cannot even put our own planetary home in order, riven with rivalries and hatreds, are we to venture out into space? By the time we're ready to settle even the nearest other planetary systems, we will have changed. The simple passage of so many generations will have changed us. Necessity will have changed us. We're an adaptable species. It will not be we who reach Alpha Centauri and the other nearby stars. It will be a species very like us, but with more of our strengths and fewer of our weaknesses. More confident, far-seeing, capable, and prudent. For all our failings, despite our limitations and fallibilities, we humans are capable of greatness. What new wonders undreamt of in our time will we have wrought in another generation and another? How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century and the next millennium? Our remote descendants, safely arrayed on many worlds through the solar system and beyond, will be unified by their common heritage, by their regard for their home planet, and by the knowledge that whatever other life may be, the only humans in all the universe come from Earth. They will gaze up and strain to find the blue dot in their skies. They will marvel at how vulnerable the repository of all our potential once was, how perilous our infancy, how humble our beginnings, how many rivers we had to cross before we found our way.
Good night, and keep looking up.